2025 is shaping up to be a very interesting year for space games. Not only are there a new batch of titles on the way, but many of the big, well-established titles are receiving some of the biggest updates they've ever had. Here then is a look at all the massive space games for 2025. Qanga is perhaps one of the most ambitious indie space game titles currently in development. It offers a fully playable solar system without loading screens, allowing seamless travel between planets like Mars, Venus and the Moon. You can seamlessly get down to the surface of all of these worlds and then fly back up into space again. Now, every planet and moon serves as an open playground ready for exploration and exploitation. Players assume the role then of a human synchronized with a cyborg, awakening at the refuel tower of IC Lab Industries. The game blends elements of combat, trade, building, survival and exploration. Players also have the ability to scavenge a whole range of different environments to find rare and valuable items, selling them to upgrade gear or purchase better weapons and vehicles. Of course, survival is a major focus here as you face hostile environments both in space and down on the planets. And this comes with both first-person and third-person combat, whether on foot or piloting a variety of vehicles, including anti-gravity crafts and ground vehicles, aquatic vehicles, as well as, of course, spaceships. Base building is also extensive as well, allowing construction anywhere in the universe, even on large asteroids. The game itself supports both solo and multiplayer modes, and players can create their own servers, build communities, and develop unique game rules or alternate game modes. And this should hopefully build a strong community for various people out there. With its seamless exploration then, a whole range of gameplay mechanics and a vast open world, Qanga has a huge amount of potential. Focusing on space mining, Starminer blends deep tactical gameplay with stunning visuals. Players start with a customizable hub ship, the cornerstone of their space empire, and this hub can be expanded with modules like solar panels, habitation units, and mining facilities, allowing for extensive personalization. The game's core revolves around mining resources, including iron, silicon, cobalt, thorium, as well as other rarer items, and all of these are essential for constructing the new modules, manufacturing products, and trading for profit. Mining mechanics then are detailed and realistic, at least that is the aim, and players must scan asteroids to identify resources, position their ships for optimal extraction, and then deploy specialized mining modules. Haulers then transport the mined ore to refineries for processing into usable materials. As for the game environment itself, Starminer employs realistic Newtonian physics, which should offer some great ship navigation with full 6 degrees of freedom. Players here can balance thrust, trajectory and velocity to maneuver their ships, or can rely on the flight computer for assistance. As operations grow, players attract attention from hostile aliens, necessitating defensive strategies. The game also integrates elements of real-time strategy and management genres, requiring careful planning in both expansion and defense. Whilst primarily a single-player experience, Starminer plans to introduce cooperative and competitive multiplayer modes in future updates. So, if you enjoy mining, this is definitely one to keep an eye on. As a captain in Planet Prospector, your mission is to deliver vital supplies to various outposts and factories scattered across the planet and in space. The game emphasizes hands-on cargo management, where cargo is a physical container you must load, secure to your ship, and manually unload at your destination's drop pod. Exploration is a core aspect of the game. You can land anywhere on a planet to summon a rover to explore on foot. Discovering rare ores to mine and sell is also a feature as well. The unique jump system requires manual input of jump distances, adding a strategy and skill to navigation. Current features include cargo delivery jobs, mining, multiple ships with distinct traits, and many points of interest to explore. While still in early development and available as a playtest, the features of the game, such as seamless transitions between space and planetary surfaces, are something that are well worth checking out. This title then could certainly have a very strong future. Remnant Protocol, developed by progenitor Game Studios, blends intense dogfighting action reminiscent of the classics like TIE Fighter with strategic base management akin to XCOM. Now players take command of Sanctuary, a hidden rebel base in the Outer Territories, leading the Remnant forces still faithful after the assassination of the Blessed Mother. The game involves waging guerrilla war against the oppressive usurpers who now rule the galaxy. Gameplay includes piloting customizable fighters in fast-paced space battles, managing resources, manufacturing ships, researching technologies, conducting espionage, and forging alliances. A key feature is the living, breathing galaxy where multiple factions maneuver for power in post-assassination power vacuum. Additionally, player decisions have ripple effects influencing the shifting political landscape and relationships with other factions. The enemy actively hunts for sanctuary, adding tension as notoriety increases with each action, requiring players to balance risk and reward. Now, there is also a permadeath feature here which does add stakes to combat. Pilots have names and progressions, and losing them impacts resources and future missions. Procedurally generated missions and dynamic narrative elements ensure that no two playthroughs are the same. Remnant Protocol aims to capture the essence of classic sci-fi tales then, offering both veterans and newcomers to the genre a challenging experience that emphasizes player choice and adaptability in the universe. Moving on, we come to Project Vesperi. Now, this is a branching narrative experience that gives players the ability to forge their own path through a somewhat lifelike performance, rich world building and tense action sequences. The game has been designed as a short but impactful story, and the game emphasizes replayability with every choice, no matter how small, affecting the ending. Set in the year 2083, Earth's natural resources have dwindled, pushing humanity to look toward the stars for survival. The Unified Nations of Earth, the UNE, has made significant strides in colonizing the solar system, but the Unified Colonies of America aim to overtake them in a new space race. Players assume the role of Dr. Evelyn Roth, a dedicated UNE astrobiologist searching for signs of life. When an anomaly is discovered on Venus, she must decide how far she'll go to secure it as an intruder emerges, risking her life and the fate of everyone in the station. The gameplay then focuses on exploration and decision-making, encouraging players to replay and discover entirely different conclusions. Jumpship, an upcoming mission-based cooperative first-person shooter for up to 4 players, developed by the Swedish indie studio Keepsake Games. The game uniquely combines space exploration, ship management, and on-foot combat, drawing inspiration from titles such as Sea of Thieves, Left 4 Dead, and FTL. In the game, players form a spaceship crew, collaborating to fly, upgrade, and maintain their vessel. The experience allows for seamless transitions between piloting the ship, performing spacewalks to repair or enhance systems, and exploring planets on foot. Teamwork is crucial, with players taking on roles like piloting, engineering, and combat without strict class limitations, and this should encourage improvisation and adaptability. Jumpship then offers a variety of handcrafted missions infused with random elements, ensuring each playthrough is unique. Jumpship has been in development for quite a while now. It's gone through a fair few iterations, but at this point it's looking very, very good indeed. Set to release simultaneously on PC and Xbox. Starship Simulator is a title I've looked at for quite a few times now over the years, and it's been evolving very, very nicely. It's a space exploration sandbox where players serve aboard humanity's first deep space vessel. As crew members, they explore the galaxy to find habitable worlds, conduct research, and make first contact with alien species. Every aspect of the ship is designed using naval engineering principles projected 200 years ahead. Players choose roles like captain, pilot, science officer, engineer, and more, each offering different challenges. Managing the ship's fuel, maintenance, and crew's well-being is crucial. The fully explorable Magellan-class starship features 7 decks and over 200 functional rooms. Every button and every piece of hardware serves a real purpose. The galaxy is a full-scale simulation of the Milky Way to boot, which has been generated using real astrophysics. Here, players encounter procedurally generated star systems and alien civilizations, making choices that affect diplomatic relationships and mission outcomes. Core gameplay involves sending probes, analysing samples, and interacting with alien races. With detailed ship simulation then, realistic galaxy, and a very nice immersive approach to exploration, Starship Simulator fills a unique niche in the space sim genre. Unveiled during the Game Awards 2023, Exodus is an action sci-fi RPG led and developed by Archetype Studios. The team comprises of Old Guard veterans from BioWare. Known for their work on Knights of the Old Republic, the game also features the voice of talent of Matthew McConaughey. There's been a lot of promises here that the game may well be the next Mass Effect. Here, players take on the role of the Traveller, humanity's last hope after fleeing a dying Earth to a hostile galaxy where they are the underdogs. The primary mission is to steal alien weapons and technology from the Celestials, powerful beings evolved from early humans and now humanity's greatest enemy. A unique aspect of the game is its focus on time dilation. As players embark on interstellar missions at near light speeds, days for them translate to decades back home. This mechanic then introduces a butterfly effect, where choices made have unpredictable, far-reaching consequences on relationships and civilization over generations. The game emphasizes this massive impact of player choice, with outcomes that compound over time. Upon returning home, players must confront the consequences of their actions, experiencing how their decisions have reshaped the future. With richly detailed world building, aided by the sci-fi author Peter F. Hamilton, Exodus is set to release on PlayStation 5, Xbox and PC. Whilst there's no release date just yet, what's being said about the game is starting to make it one of the most anticipated sci-fi titles. Now, I've spoken about Falling Frontier a few times now. It's in fact been in quite a few of these videos. Unfortunately, it still hasn't released, but hopefully 2025 is going to be the year for this game. Falling Frontier then is an upcoming sci-fi real-time strategy game that is aiming to redefine the genre with its emphasis on ship design, reconnaissance and logistics. Set in a vast, procedurally generated star system filled with planets, moons, asteroid fields and nebula, players lead an expeditionary force that has just established its first spaceport in orbit around a new world. However, rival factions from the old colonial wars, Earth, Titan, Venus and other human lineages have also arrived, setting at this stage for intense competition. At the core of the game is deep strategic gameplay. Here, players build and upgrade shipyards, supply depots, refineries and recon stations whilst researching technologies to unlock new ship hulls, weapons, orbital facilities and colonization options. The ship design system features a variety of different ships including frigates, destroyers, cruisers and battle cruisers, along with various civilian vessels as well. Customization here is key then, which should allow players to choose weapons, utility modules and components to suit their specific strategies. Combat in Falling Frontier should be interesting, with battles involving realistic mechanics where shots can miss, ricochet and hit unintended targets, and ship subsystems can be damaged or destroyed upon impact. Smaller scale, agile ships can outmaneuver larger vessels through tactical superiority and ambush tactics. Crew management also adds another layer of depth to the game, with officers who are individual characters with unique traits and abilities, and this should affect flotilla efficiency. Captured enemy officers can also be interrogated for intelligence or used to set traps, and the same applies to your own crew as well. Falling Frontier then promises to be a very complex game. Very much looking forward to this one. Elite Dangerous has taken a rise to prominence again in 2024 with many new releases. And a big one coming in at 2025 is system colonization updates. This is set to be a significant update that will allow players to colonize various different star systems. It's a groundbreaking feature for the game that allows players to expand the inhabited bubble into unpopulated systems they've discovered, and this will fundamentally alter the game's dynamics. After locating a suitable system, players can establish a starport serving as an anchor point for colonization. Once constructed, this can further be expanded across the system by adding additional starports, facilities, settlements and stations according to the player's vision. Acting as a system architect, players design and influence the economy and infrastructure of their colonized systems. Although as of this recording, the details are fairly vague as to how this system will work, it doesn't appear, at the moment at least, that this will involve traditional base building with resource gathering. It will nonetheless still be player-centric. Players then aren't limited to a single system. They can colonize multiple systems, potentially creating chains of inhabited space reaching distant destinations. This truly is a big update for Elite Dangerous and emphasizes the fact that Frontier are committed to future developments. And it seems likely that throughout 2025 there will be further updates. Vanguard, an upcoming free-to-play squad-based first-person shooter. This is developed by CCP Games, the studio behind EVE Online. Described by some as an escape from Tarkov in space, it offers looting and extraction mechanics whilst maintaining ties to EVE's lore and EVE's history. Players here engage in tactical combat on atmospheric battlefields filled with remnants of past conflicts. You can see some of the massive ships from EVE Online crashed here on the surface and even walk through their wreckage. The core gameplay involves combat against the players and NPCs, looting resources like nanites and cash, crafting clones and ammunition, and extracting with the acquired loot. A unique banking system allows players to secure cash even if they fail to extract. Now, whilst operating as a separate game, EVE Vanguard shares the same universe and launcher as EVE Online. Ultimately, the goal here is to make a lot of connections between the two games. EVE Vanguard then served as a spiritual successor to Dust 514, but this time around it's focused purely on being a PC game. This isn't the only expansion to the EVE Online universe. The next game here is EVE Frontier. Set within the same universe but offering a distinct experience, players awaken from stasis in a decimated galaxy trapped between three supermassive black holes. Plagued by rogue AI entities that corrupt and consume everything, survivors must explore, gather resources, upgrade their spaceships, and engage in combat and endure this hostile environment. Now, the game emphasizes player agency within a sandbox setting and introduces smart assemblies, a unique base building system where players can construct structures with programmable layers, and these connect to the game world and real-world dynamics. Ultimately, this is a blockchain game and will be using cryptocurrency. CCP have made a big deal over how they view this working with what they believe to be a player-driven economy where the players themselves have true ownership over their creations. Now, EVE Frontier aims to differentiate itself from other blockchain games by prioritizing a compelling game experience over the token speculation. In other words, it seems that CCP are going for gameplay here over, valuation of the currencies. EVE Frontier then and EVE Online tend to be two very different games, with EVE Frontier focusing on blockchain-enabled player agency. The game here is ultimately seeking to expand upon a player-led chaos philosophy of EVE Online, and I'm sure in the end we'll see many interesting stories about this game. As we come to the end of this video, I want to wrap up with three very well-known space games. Star Citizen should be getting its Pyro update very soon. Maybe by the time you've watched this, you'll all be flying around in the brand new system of Pyro and experiencing the wonders of server meshing. Throughout 2025, you can expect to see more additions to Star Citizen as new content comes online. No Man's Sky, of course, is super popular. This game received many updates in 2024 and is likely to receive further updates in 2025. Not to mention, there is the new release from Hello Games on the horizon. This is called Light No Fire, and whilst that isn't a space game, the technology from that game is being applied to No Man's Sky as it comes online and as it's developed. So yeah, we can expect to see plenty of updates to No Man's Sky throughout 25, I'm sure. X4 is also worth keeping an eye on, with EgoSoft constantly releasing updates for this franchise. This game is very likely to see some further updates throughout 2025, as is EVERSPACE 2. As I've said many times before, EVERSPACE 2 is one of my favourite space games and my best space game of 2023. The developers have released great updates for this game so far, so I'm sure there'll be something great for 2025. So there we have it, a roundup of some of the largest and most interesting space games of 2025 and beyond. Some of these are AAA titles, some AA and some from indie studios, but all very compelling and adding to the genre in their own unique way. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. Do check out the other video linked on the screen right here. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.